This is the part where I talk into the microphone to see if there's an echo. Now I have to wait. This is the part where I talk into the microphone to see if there's an echo. Okay, we're looking good.
Check 1, check 2.
Oh yeah,
How about the balance there?
Yeah, I gotta bring the
Yeah, I think so. Oh my god, cute fox videos on YouTube. Yeah, I mean, if we ever get bored solving puzzles, you can just try like doing stupid things, like looking at all the possible verbs.
Yeah, we're gonna probably start speeding up on this one.
Speeding up.
Time to fight some robots. Wish I had some bourbon.
Bourbon.
Bourbon's so much nicer with apple cider.
Better than Tito's vodka with apple cider, yeah. I would imagine.
Washington Apple Rita. Yeah, get it. That's the stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm out of frop. Oh no, I'm gonna play video games without frop. What will I do? Bet you there's some nerds around here I could probably hit up. I'll look into that tomorrow. All right, we got 4 minutes.
4 minutes. Already. You see the cactus I left out in Minecraft? I guess you haven't been in Minecraft.
No, I haven't been in there for a couple of days.
Good. I planted a giant emergency cactus behind glass with signs in English and Spanish that say, in case of need an emergency cactus, break the glass. And then there's other signs in English and Spanish that say, improper use is punishable by incredible death.
Incredible death.
Yeah.
Beautiful death.
Asombroso, as I said. Astonishing death.
All right, today's pre-show theme song is Aliens Are Sleeping with Your Wife.
That's an old one. That's like going back to 2005 or something.
Oh, a classic.
Yeah, it's pretty old. Maybe not quite that old, but it's at least 10 years.
Go ahead. That's right.
Da, 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 da.
And welcome back to Bad at Vidya. I'm Dr. Fox. I'm bad at video games, broadcasting live from Subbasement 27 in the Hypercube. Joining me via the sub-ether tether on the Hypercom is Dr. Cosmac.
Hello.
He's our game master. He's also our chief narrator. Bob, bless his tired little tongue after reading just about every page on yesterday's
Not
live
everything,
stream.
but all the
good bit.
salient points of
salient
of the events and happenings in the text adventure game Gateway 2 Homeworld by Legend Entertainment, 1993.
And so we've got Gateway 2 loaded up. We're going to be picking up on the so we're in part 2.
Yeah, we've made it to the mysterious alien artifact in our solar system, and met a nice lady there who we helped out, and now we're going to see what else we can find, I guess.
So when we left off, we were at a computer terminal where we had loaded a cube with the consciousness of somebody that formerly was on the ship before their brain was sucked out by a robotic spider. We're looking to get to either one of the zoos on board or figure out some of the stuff in the area. And
we're looking to get to the front of the ship and tell it to go to Earth so we can get home.
Let's go ahead and get this set up.
Apparently, this is an alien exobiology vessel, so it goes from planet to planet and looks for life and collects specimens and puts them in these zoos. According to somebody, who was it who told us that?
Was that Diana, or was that?
No, I think that was Miki. I think that was the Japanese lady inside the computer.
I've got a piece of paper, but I don't have a pen. I didn't bring a pen with me. Maybe I can humbly request my lovely wife to bring me a pen. Oh no, I have one. I have a pen. I'm gonna need that.
But do you have a pineapple? Do you have a pineapple?
I don't kiss and tell, Dr. Cosmac.
Oh, well, all right.
All right, so we are back over here. Oh, and I need to set up my screen to share with you.
Yeah, I can't see anything.
Yeah, we gotta get that. Because we don't want you to wait for the live stream. Stuff I should have done earlier. There we go.
There it is.
So now Dr. Cosmac should be able to see the screen in real time.
Lighting up with the green cube in the crystal matrix and the spinning hoops on the display.
And I have to bring this back up. Okay. So everything is swapping around. There we go. Little up here. There we go. Happy boy. All right, so we don't need to look at them.
Yeah, I think if you click on certain places in the graphical window, it'll let you look closely at certain objects. But
all right.
It's really not necessary.
So when we activated the terminal yesterday, we found out some information. We found that there was more than one person stored on the cube, is what it seemed. And so I would ask now, professional player Dr. Cosmac, do we need to go and read through everybody's brain scan on this cube?
Not all of them, but yeah, I think that first lady that we were talking to has some important information.
All right, so we got that down.
And some of them might be kind of interesting anyway. So
I'll
leave it up to you. But I think yeah, one of them has some important information.
All right,
and others just have some hints or just various things they might want to say to you.
All right, so shall we just to make sure activate our activate our main screen? Okay, there we go.
There you go.
Spin those hoops. Spin them.
There they go.
There they go. This is how we know that we're in the future.
This is an alien computer.
All right, so we did talk to Miki.
She pressed a button. She says, "Hello again, Miki." She's a gateway prospector who was killed by the robot, and her brain was scanned, and now she lives inside the computer.
All right. So tell me how to get off this damn ship.
I think your best bet is to fly the vessel back to Earth. You need to defeat the intelligence that runs the ship, reach the control center, and fly the ship to Earth. I have a plan.
All right.
I think we went through this last time.
We did go through this one.
She has a plan for going up. You have to go up to the front of the ship, find the computers, and pull out the green cores, which have the ship's artificial intelligence.
Correct. All right. So, did we get everything important off of?
We did not.
Okay.
No, we didn't.
So I guess we need to talk further.
Well, you missed one there.
Oh, did I? Tell me about the intelligence that runs the ship. What do you think the ship's primary mission is? Tell me about the ship. I feel like we went through those yesterday.
No. You had to go back.
Go back?
You have to ask her how to get through the door to the northeast.
Okay.
Because I believe she has the code that you need to get through that door.
How do I get into the zoos? There are force fields that keep you out. They also keep the creatures inside where they belong. You can use a red cylindrical device to traverse the force field. I don't know where that rod is now. I found it lying in a corridor. If other prospectors, I think we have that. We should have the red cylinder. At least it was something glowing red. How do I get through the first zoo?
I don't know. That's up to you.
Oh, great, thanks.
I think you need to say goodbye to her and then activate her again to get the option that you need.
Oh, okay. One of those.
Yeah, it's hidden in there.
All right. Hello again.
Hello again. So yeah, how do I get through the bulkhead door to the northeast?
There we go.
Yes. The combination of the bulkhead door is 11112. Wow, that's an unusual one.
I have the same code on my luggage.
It's now written down on your slip of paper.
Okay.
So you have the code. You can move forward.
And it's on.
So we're actually done here, but you can click on at least find out who's in each of these little matrices here.
All right. Well, let's.
I mean, no, they don't get to talk to people that often.
Got to give them a chance. They're lonely. They've been in here since 1993.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we talked to this guy. He only speaks Chinese, so
we didn't really talk to him.
This fella. And then there was this other guy. You had an Arab fella that you were speaking to.
This fella.
Yes, this guy.
Why have you activated?
Who are you? Why have you activated me?
I kill you. I kill you.
He told us a story about fighting the robot with a laser gun that he had with him.
Yes.
But
tell me about the robot.
The robot looked like an enormous blue metal insect. It had a cluster of sensors on its head and used these to see and hear as it moved. I shot the sensors with the laser gun as the machine got close.
Well, won't tell me anything about a laser gun. Tell me about the ship.
The only part of the vessel that I saw was the area immediately beyond the docking ring that attached itself to my transport ship. There was a large open room with a domed roof, corridors that led in all directions from there. I'd just begun to explore the domed room when I was attacked.
Okay. Tell me about the intelligence.
I don't know much about it. It's the devil.
Some things I've found.
I don't know anything. I tell you, I was only aboard the ship for a couple hours. Go away.
Oh, wow. It's a feisty Arab fella.
The image of a friendly young man appears. He begins talking in a language that you don't understand. After a few attempts at communication, you both give up and sign off. Pin those rings.
Oh, hey.
An image of a haunted woman with dark hair appears on the screen. A quavering voice, afraid and yet filled with hope, comes from the console. John? Is that you?
Sorry, this isn't John.
Don't kid around, John. This is Tara. I know it's you. God, I've missed you.
Okay, I'm John. I'll be John.
I'm glad you're back. I actually thought there was a chance you had gone away for good this time. When you left, I went crazy. I used Paulo's money to buy a ticket to Gateway. Halfway out to Gateway Station, I knew I'd screwed up. I tried to get them to turn the ship around, but it was too late. That's all I remember for sure. Are we on Gateway? I sort of remember making a god-awful, expensive long-distance comm transmission from Gateway. You answered, and I was so happy to hear your voice, but then there was another woman's voice, sleepy like she just woke up. Come to think of it, you sounded sleepy too. No, that's not right. I knew that it couldn't be true. It wasn't true. It was a bad dream. Did I also dream about my trip to Gateway? John, I'm sorry. I'm kind of confused. Jesus, those nightmares. You with another woman, a long trip in a cramped Heechee ship going crazy. That horrible spider on the alien ship. It all seems so real, but I know it isn't. You're real. You're my love. I love you so much it hurts. Tara and her confusion were mildly amusing at first. This is not amusing at all. You apologized to poor deluded Tara and cut the connection.
Thoughts and prayers. I'm trying to remember which button that was. Was that 5 or 6?
That was the 5th one, I think.
So here's 6.
An image of a young man appears on the screen. He greets you with enthusiasm. Hey, how you doing?
Hey. You can talk to me for a few minutes?
Of course I want to talk. I haven't talked to a soul for ages. I'm glad for the company.
Who are you? Where are you from?
Call me Roland. I was born on an algae farm off the coast of Louisiana, so you could say I'm from the Gulf of Mexico. Or you could say I'm from the Petit Bois Biofood Platform. I grew up in New Orleans. My parents weren't rich, but they did at least provide me with basic education and medical. When my dad died, I took over his business. He started a wetware rental store after he retired from biofood. His retail career didn't last long at all. D12 chemicals they use in the algae processors on Petit Bois killed him. That stuff is worse than the oil lung you get at Petro Foods. The damn company didn't even pay his med benefits. Had the audacity to call it a pre-existing condition.
I just keep reading that as petite boys.
Petite boys? Sure, maybe that's how they say it. I thought it was French.
I'm going with yours.
Anyway, Mom kicked off shortly afterward. Had to watch her die, etc. Sob story, blah, blah, blah. Went to Gateway. Yep.
Punched out, found myself. My troubles were just beginning.
Yep, went to Gateway, went on a prospecting mission, got pulled in by the same ship, and then murdered by the robot.
Tell me more about the robot.
It was a big, nasty thing. Had 8 legs and a body like a pregnant spider. Grew a bunch of new arms and was attacking Bridget and me. New arms were covered with needles, saws, clamps, and other awful tools. It was pretty terrible. Ironic, ain't it? I fled across light years of space to be eaten by some weird alien spider thing. Never did have much in the way of luck.
I guess, yeah, that's ironic. Anything about the intelligence?
I don't know much about it, but there's definitely something there. It toys with me occasionally, pulling me out of storage or sleep or wherever it is that I go when I'm not awake. I don't talk to it. It just studies me.
And now we're getting into like some Harlan Ellison stuff here. I have no cube, and I must scream. All right.
Bye now.
Bye-bye. Bye now.
I think he's supposed to be Southern, but I wasn't gonna try.
Thank you.
out of respect for our Southern
another lady we can't talk to.
Another lady who speaks Chinese or something.
Some kind of moon language.
The image of a young man fades in. Leave me alone. You're one of them, aren't you? Go away. Piss off. He sneers briefly at you and the connection is cut with a click.
Alrighty.
An image of a balding, middle-aged man appears on the screen.
It's George Carlin.
Accompanied by a warbling, high-pitched voice. It does kind of look like George Carlin. Screams out of the console. Ah, ha, ha. I know you're out there. Hello, hello. You shake your head and squint at the image. Who are you? You ask with some trepidation. Kiog. I am Kiog. Kiog. Twilight of the Gods? No, just a walk in the park. Valet parking?
Oh, we found the subgenius. What is it? Valet parking?
Just because the third world is in a world of hurt doesn't mean that you can't cruise in style. Drive a 7000 series air car from BMX, the ultimate flying machine.
BMX? How'd you get in there?
No! Don't hurt me again. Please don't hurt me. No more needles, no more knives. Nice spider, I'll be good. Spider, spider, spider. So empty in here. Why?
Say, what?
Things didn't work out. I used my severance to buy a ticket to Gateway. Clean start, you know. Can't brood on the past. Gotta move forward.
Will you talk to me for a few minutes?
Wallenstadt no-cal ice cream, he says through his toothy smile. Advertising. What a crock. McAllister campaign. Don't take my word for it. Ask accounting.
You know anything about these things I found?
Pure diet cat food. Crunch and munch. Your cat will love you. Kiog, coming at you. Marketing czar, advertising star.
I'm gonna try someone else. Oh, and I cut out 4. All right. Oh man, I think it was right around here.
Yeah, I guess his brain got kind of scrambled in the transfer process.
Oh, he was in marketing, so there wasn't much to take in the beginning.
There wasn't much there to begin with. Yeah. An image of a beautiful woman with blonde hair appears on the screen. She looks around as if dazed. Then that's not blonde hair. Clearly got like red hair. She looks like Gillian Anderson or something.
Will you talk to me?
Where am I? I can't tell if I'm awake or asleep or what. Who are you? Where are you? You seem to be talking to me from a great distance. I can see you, but not with my eyes. It's hard to describe. What's happening to me?
Do you have any idea where you are?
I feel like I'm floating in negative space. Sometimes I can hear, see, and feel fragments of emotions and thoughts. They seem to belong to other people. Otherwise, I'm in limbo. I did a sensory deprivation experiment when I was in the university. This feels like that. My link to you is the only thing that feels even close to real, and yet I know our conversation is being held through some kind of electronic device. I feel lost, alone, and confused.
What is your last memory?
I was stranded aboard a derelict Ichi starship with a young American. We were getting ready to explore one of the sub-environments, obviously some kind of specimen holding area. I didn't count on the atmosphere being cumulatively toxic. It must have overwhelmed me before I realized what was happening. I think I either lost consciousness or entered a delusional state. Either way, I don't remember what happened after that. Next thing I knew, I was in this place.
Tell me about the zoos.
Sub-environments on the right-hand side of the ship are all based on oxygen-nitrogen atmospheres. The environments on the left side of the ship are based on worlds with different atmospheres and gravitational fields.
I'm hoping she means port and starboard.
Well, she's not a sailor.
Tell me about the robot.
I knew that thing was a threat. It seemed to take a great interest in me when I wandered the central corridors, but I could always escape it by coming far enough aft. Oh, she knows aft.
Yeah.
She doesn't know port and starboard. It won't come aft. I think it uses the sensor eyes in the central corridors to see. It won't go where there aren't eyes.
Tell me what you know about them sensors.
Well, I didn't really know what to say beyond what I've already told you. In the corridor that runs from the back of the ship to the front, the central corridor, there are a series of sensor eyes that hang on cables from the roof of the corridor. I believe the entity controlling the robot uses these eyes to see. The robot can't go where it can't see.
Alright. Bye-bye.
You aren't getting away that easily. Tell me where I am.
Well, I'll tell you what I think. Based on my conversations with others like you, I think that you are actually an electronic being, a scanned thought pattern generated from the brain of a woman named Brigitte when she was killed by the robot. This ship seems to be run by an intelligence that studies humans by absorbing their personalities, memories, and thoughts into a computer program. That sum it up for you?
Dead? But I'm not dead, I'm very much alive. I do feel very, very different. Dead? Hardly. I don't feel like a computer program.
Okay, Tron. It may not be true. I have only told you what I know from talking to others like you. I am sorry. Please forgive me, but I must go. Goodbye.
Well, things are so strange here that it might be true. I don't know. At least you've given me something to think about. Au revoir.
Oh, she is from
Au
New Orleans.
revoir.
Oh,
yeah, well,
reservoir.
she came in with that other guy,
reservoir.
that guy that we were talking to from Louisiana, whose dad died in the
marsh.
petrochemical in the petite boys. The image of a heavy-set middle-aged woman appears on the screen. She looks lost for a second, but resumes the lecture that she must have started the last time she was activated. And so, we can't count on the Heechee FTL drive for large-scale colonization. We must build our own seed ships and send them to Alpha Centauri, Epsilon Ariadne, Epsilon Indi, Tau Ceti, Omicron Eridani, and Sigma Draconis.
Oh, whoa, it's like you're speaking Greek to me, lady. Hello? Can I interrupt for a second?
The woman continues as if she didn't hear you. The most likely form of propulsion that we could use for interstellar travel is not based on Heechee technology. Humboldt thinks we should proceed with full-scale development of a gas-core nuclear rocket, pulse drive ship that would use laser fusion to burn deuterium and tritium fuels.
Ooh, tritium.
The first ships to build would be interstellar probes. These probes would be equipped with pulse drives. Control and guidance would be provided by sophisticated AI systems with multiply redundant optical computer networks. Power would be supplied by a radionuclide core, possibly plutonium. On board would also be the actual probe instruments, which would include X-class sensors, proximity rangers, gravitometers, beam bouncers, spectroscopes, and every type of image capture device available.
Cameras.
Yeah, cameras. Now, before we go into the Earth-Moon libration points, the L4 and L5 colonies, and the concept of a Bernal sphere, I'd like to answer any questions on the textbook sections related to interstellar exploration. Questions? The woman seemed to look around as if scanning an imaginary classroom.
Yes, what happened when the Trump Space Force revealed that the DNC didn't let the Bernal sphere win? I'd really like to interrupt for just a moment. No, I better let her know I have a question. People like this hate questions.
The woman's eyes light up and recognition crosses her face. Good question, she says cheerfully. Well, Tanya, the answer is simple. Vacuum vapor deposition. Melt your metal and then spray it out against a form or mold where it will condense. Another answer might be a glassblower approach. Pump gas into a ball of molten metal to create a container and control its shape by spinning it. Other questions? This woman must be reliving a lecture she gave before becoming a prospector. She isn't going to be much help. You disconnect.
Click.
I think that's all the folks. I think we talked to
And we talked to the last guy too.
Yeah.
And
so I think the last guy is actually Jack, who is Diana's boyfriend who got eaten by the spider.
Yep,
yeah, Jack. His name is Jack. Yes, he decided to ship out with Diana. So.
Oh, don't worry. I took care of her.
It's great news. I was worried as hell about her. So.
I think we kind of know.
That's all we need here, I think.
All right.
I think we're done with this computer now.
Click. score's gone up by 15, so we got the number.
Yep, you wrote down the number which opens the door to the northeast of the cargo bay.
All right, we'll save our game, and I wrote it on my slip of paper, but I'm pretty sure it wrote it on its slip of paper as well.
It did, yes, it did.
All right, so... Oh, gotta get off the chair. All right, okay. Head on down this big blue butthole tunnel.
Back to the cargo bay.
All right. So, I read something about like a toxic environment, but I remember throwing my gas mask off in the
you
ship.
flushed that into space.
I flushed it into space, so it's gone.
You don't have a gas mask
That was
anymore
such a good idea on my part.
So if you wanted to check, I wonder if you can actually go in there. Go to the northwest.
Northwest. Okay, I gotta...
Because remember she said the ones on the left or port side were toxic, and the ones on the right or the starboard side. Yeah, you bump up against a bulkhead door that's fused shut, so there's no way you can go into these at all.
Alright. But we could try northeast.
Yeah. Okay. You come up to a bulkhead, a heavy metal door. On the wall next to the door is a keypad.
Alright, let's use key... Wait, was that what... this is activate keypad?
You can just use it, yeah.
You can't turn that on.
Well, it's already on.
Use keypad? Please say that another way or try something
Examine
else.
Keypad?
Examine keypad.
Yeah, that's a bit weird. Oh, there you go.
Okay.
So check this out. Before you click, you can actually use your physical keyboard keys to put this code in.
Okay.
So that you can pretend as if you were touching these alien buttons with your actual fingers.
Wow. It's going to get immersive.
Isn't that neat? Isn't that neat?
That's... I mean, I wasn't prepared for this level of just total reality breaking here.
Check it out.
All right, I'm gonna push 1.
Put some digits in.
Oh wow! Look, you see
also check out these cool Heechee digital displays.
Looks kind of like Predator numbers.
Well, they might be. I don't know. I've never seen the Predator.
Really?
Nope.
It's actually a pretty enjoyable sci-fi romp there. All right, well, let's...
Ancient machinery grinds to life and the heavy bulkhead door slides open. Your score has just gone up by 20.
All right, so let's do corridor door.
Cool.
Takes a while to save, doesn't it? Northwest. What?
You can't go northwest.
Northeast. Oh my God! I
Northwest.
just do that twice.
You can't go that way.
Okay.
You go through the bulkhead doorway.
I'm an idiot.
I just imagine your character like running headlong into the wall twice.
Into the corner. Yeah. Like really, really far into it.
Like getting up, shaking their head out, and doing it again.
Great. So there's
a dark obelisk towers over you. Beyond the obelisk, to the north is a shimmering red force field. A glowing sphere, the same color as the force field, hangs in the air beside the portal. The corridor leads to the southwest. Also, I should point out to you that there is an obelisk with some numbers on here.
Yes, I was picking that up. That those were what were on the screen behind me.
Well, yes and no. They're not those particular numbers, but they might. You might want to take a look at those numbers.
I'm taking like the numbers back on the keypad.
No, the numbers on the obelisk.
All right, so I feel like I need to write it down. Like I need to draw.
You can, but it'll actually write it down on your slip of paper.
Okay, let's examine the obelisk. All right.
Yep, you scratch the pattern on your sheet of paper.
Wonderful.
Blue obelisk dominates the room. It's about 3 meters tall, made of a rough textured metal that has a mottled blue surface. You see a series of raised lines on one side. After a moment of study, the lines resolve themselves into Heechee numbers. So yeah, now you've got some kind of code associated with this location.
Associated with here, okay. Well, before I start touching shit, we'll go ahead and just save it as obelisk. Save spamming. All right, so let's. So I had the crystal rod, right? Let's see. Examine. Red sphere.
Glowing red sphere seems to hang in space next to the shimmering force field portal.
Let's use crystal rod with red sphere.
Please say that another way.
Place crystal rod in red sphere.
As you bring the crystal rod near the glowing red sphere, a tentacle of red energy reaches out from the sphere and makes contact with the rod. Feeling like a mild electric shock runs through the rod into you, and the rod shines briefly with an intense red light. Immediately afterward, the force field, sphere, and rod change color from red to blue with a sizzle and a crackle. Your score's gone up by 15.
Save, And I don't think so I take it that I'm moving towards the zoos, but I didn't really get any information on how to survive in there. So let's just make sure I got everything.
Well, you know at least that the ones on this side of the ship are not toxic.
But I think there's some creatures.
But there may be creatures in there that could be dangerous, yes.
All right, so getting ready.
Weird alien creatures that the intelligence that runs the ship has been collecting over millennia.
All right, is there anything else to look for in here? I don't think so. So let's go ahead and move north.
You step into the shifting pattern of blue light, feeling a slight tingle as your body passes through the force field.
Ooh, tingly.
1 second, you're in the mysterious obelisk room on board the starship. Next thing you know, you pass through the force field and wind up somewhere else. You take stock of your surroundings with growing disbelief. The deck is gone, replaced by soil and rocks. Before you is a large pool of green ooze, a miniature lake of bubbling tar-like substance. Beyond the ooze is a wall of spiny plants. The environment is huge. It feels like the surface of an alien world. It even smells different.
Ooh.
You look up. The sky is blue-green and cloudy. You can see the bright spots in the clouds where 3 suns are shining. The sky stretches away on every side of you, fading into infinity. Behind you is the only link to reality as you knew it seconds before. A glowing force field portal with the familiar floating sphere.
All right. So it looks like if I am going to get out, I might have to use the key.
You begin to realize that this environment is partly real and partly an illusion. The ground under you is real enough. The sky above must be a hologram.
Must be.
This is a recreation of an alien ecosystem, a zoo with some elements being very real and some being mere computer-generated figments. The overall effect is compelling and not a little frightening.
But it is entirely frightening.
It's not a little bit frightening, it's a lot frightening. You're standing on the bank of a pool of viscous green ooze. A cloudy blue-green sky hangs overhead. You can see 3 bright spots in the clouds that correspond to a triple sun. To your back is the glowing force field portal and the familiar red sphere. On the other side of the ooze, you can see a dense thicket of strange spiny plants. You see a pool of ooze. About 2 meters away from you on your side of the ooze is a translucent green blob about 1 meter in diameter. It seems to sense your presence and extends a pseudopod. The pseudopod waves tentatively in your direction, as if looking for something.
Oh boy. Alright, so barren area save before this thing starts wanting to suck on me. The edge of the thicket. So, if there's one thing I've learned in video games, it's to avoid puddles of bubbling green ooze. But there's a puddle of green ooze. It seems to be right in front of me. So I'm preparing to die here. I don't really have anything with me. I've got can I go ahead and try and take stuff? Take everything. Nope.
Please be more specific.
More specific than take anything. Examine green blob. Did it, what did it say it was reaching out to me with?
A pseudopod. The blob is a shapeless mass of translucent green flesh about 1.5 meters in diameter. You hear a crackling sound from the portal as the force field turns on again. The blob begins moving towards you, flowing with amazing speed over the ground. It extends several pseudopods as it moves. Before you can react, the blob has reached you. It pools around your feet, flows up your legs, and then covers your body, running its pseudopods over your clothes and exposed skin. The blob seems to be looking for something specific, and it apparently can't find what it wants. Eventually it drops off you and retreats to its previous position on the bank of the ooze.
Well, thank goodness. So I guess I don't have anything it wants. Examine edge of thicket.
The tall, dense plants have branches covered with stiff spines. The spines are quite large, a few centimeters long, and are not terribly sharp. Spiny plants are more a barrier to forward progress than a physical threat. You notice that some twigs and branches have broken off the main stalks and are hanging in the other growth.
Alright. Crystal thicket, blah blah blah. Nothing really here. Can I take some spiny plants?
You're too far away to reach the spiny plants.
Alright, well let's move north then.
You back up to the portal and take a running jump over the narrowest part of the pool of ooze. You're standing on the edge of a dense growth of spiny plants. The tangled plants reach several meters into the air. They present an intimidating barrier to further progress. You notice something out of the corner of your eye. A strange creature has emerged from under a rock on the bank. Tiny, about 5 centimeters across, and looks like the land equivalent of a sea anemone. It has a thick, snail-like foot and a crown of tentacles. The tentacles wave around in the air, occasionally touching the ground as the creature slides along the edge of the bank. You almost look away, but you notice that one of the thing's tentacles accidentally touches a drop of the sticky, tar-like ooze on the bank. The tentacles flail wildly for a moment, but this frantic motion only succeeds in spreading the ooze all over the unfortunate creature. Eventually, it is completely gummed up, with its tentacles stuck together in a gooey mess. The creature topples over into the pool of ooze and sinks out of sight.
Huh. So I guess I want to be careful of that ooze.
It seems kind of sticky.
Examine ooze.
Ooze is a thick resinous substance that is collected in a viscous pool. Looks a lot like green tar. Occasionally a bubble will form on the surface of the stuff as some chemical reaction underneath produces air or some kind of gas.
Okay, can we take some spiny plants now?
You delicately pluck a spiny twig from one of the tall plants. Your score has just gone up by 10.
Okay. Alright, saved here at the thicket. I got a spiny plant. Is that what I have? The twig? Examine twig.
Yeah. It's the twig you picked out of the thicket. It's
okay.
About 10 centimeters long and covered with long, stiff spines.
Got this white badge, tuning fork, spine plant, slip of paper form. Can't move forward. The clearing is behind me, I guess. Alright, well let's back up.
You back up to the thicket and take a running jump over the narrowest part of the pool of ooze. You see a pool of ooze and a green blob here. You notice something at the corner of your eye. Okay, one of those little creatures just got stuck in the ooze. Again. The blob begins moving towards you, flowing with amazing speed. Before you can react, it's reached you. It pulls around your feet, flowing over your legs, and covers your body. The blob finds the twig from the thicket that you are holding and consumes the spiny plant with apparent relish. It stays attached to you as it finishes eating.
Okay, well, thanks for eating my twig. I'm going to go back and I'm going to get another one.
You wonder briefly if you should even try to make the jump with the blob wrapped around your body. Then you lumber towards the ooze, push off as hard as you can, and barely make it to the other side. The blob searches your body for more of the spiny plants. Can't find any, so it flows off of you. When it hits the ground, the blob extends a pseudopod and waves in the direction of the spiny thicket. After a few seconds, the blob recoils slightly and begins to tremble, almost as if it can't believe its own good fortune. It flows rapidly towards the base of the thicket, and then on to the first of the spiny stalks. Your score has just gone up by 10.
Okay, well, let's save this part of the thicket. There we go. And so, I guess I'll just wait a minute.
The blob spreads itself thinly across several of the spiny stalks, absorbing the plants as it goes. It grows exponentially as it eats, instantly converting the plant material into flesh or whatever it's made of. Perhaps blobness is a better word. You watch in amazement as the blob chews an entrance into the thicket. Finally, the blob reaches some internal limit and withdraws, obviously satiated. You inspect the ragged hole in the thicket and see light filtering in from the northeast. You might be able to make it through here.
Alright, let's move northeast.
You plunge into the entrance created by the blob, walking easily through the hole in the impossibly dense thicket. After a few claustrophobic moments, you find your way into a clearing. You're in a clearing under a blue-green sky. A tall tree stands in the middle of the clearing, its twisted alien branches reaching high into the air. To the northwest, you can see a low hillock. The ooze pool lies back to the southwest. Almost immediately after you make your way into the clearing, you see 3 bipedal aliens bounding towards you from the northwest. They're ugly reptilian lizard things with beady little eyes, scaly skin, and large mouths full of overlapping rows of sharp teeth. You quickly decide that they're not friendly. What's more, they're looking at you as if you might be lunch. You try to retreat back the way you came, but they're moving too quickly. You find yourself cut off, surrounded on all sides. You back up until you're against the base of the tree that dominates the clearing. You can't see it, but you're standing against that tree in the picture.
That tree there. Well, I guess I should try going up.
You scramble up the tree, frantically grabbing for handholds as you reach a fork in the branches about 4 meters off the ground. You can't climb any higher. You settle in for the moment, taking stock of your surroundings. The branches of the tree are covered with leaves and loaded with clusters of green fruit. The dinosaur things prowl around the base of the tree, occasionally batting at each other with their sharp claws and snarling.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and save being in the tree then. Let's take everything.
Please be more specific.
Take. So what do we have here? Take fruit pods.
You pluck a fruit pod from a nearby cluster. Your score has just gone up by 5. Below you, the dinosaur thing scratches the base of the tree.
Throw fruit pod at dinosaurs. Dinosaurs?
You take aim at one of the evil-looking carnivores and let the fruit pod fly with all the force that you can muster. The pod slams into the reptilian skull of one of the ugly beasts with a satisfying pock, and then skitters out of sight. The stricken dinosaur's head snaps to one side from the impact, and then the thick-bodied lizard slowly keels over, unconscious or dead. Below you, the 2 remaining monsters experimentally chew on the body of their comatose friend. They eventually decide that they don't much like the taste, and resume their hungry contemplation of you.
Lucky me. If I push up... Nope, it won't do it again. No repeat. Let's throw fruit pod at dinosaurs. Oh,
you aren't holding the clusters of fruit pods.
Take fruit pods.
Below you, the 2 remaining monsters experimentally chew on the body of their friend, etc.
Throw fruit pods at dinosaurs. Wait. You aren't holding the clusters at fruit pods? Wait, I thought...
You're holding 1 fruit pod.
Oh. Throw...
There are 2 different objects. The 1 pod you're holding and the pods that are in the tree are 2 different things.
There.
Nailed. Feeling cocky, you grab the fruit pod and draw a bead on the next dinosaur thing. Your intended target looks up at you, apparently oblivious to your intentions. You snap your arm and release the fruit, which flies straight and true, catches the carnivore square in the snout with a squishy-sounding thud, eliciting a yowl of pain from the surprised beast before it takes 2 unsteady steps backward and collapses in an untidy pile. 2 down, 1 to go. The last predator squeals and lashes its tail. Sniffs at the bodies of its fallen companions.
Fruit pod at dinosaur.
With a windup and delivery that would have made an early 21st century baseball pitcher proud, you hurl the fruit pod at the last standing target. The pod ricochets off the cranium of the remaining monster. The beast paws at the air in a comical way, lashes its tail, and then slumps to the ground. You stand up in the fork of the tree to receive applause from the imaginary crowd. As you take your second bow, you lose your footing and fall forward. You bounce once off the branch just below, then hit the ground hard, losing your breath with an agonized oof.
Oof. Big oof. Legend got oof. Can I take
well, it was your fault for showing off, Dr. Fox.
I'll never learn.
You're in no shape to do anything except gasp for breath. In fact, you barely notice when an 8-legged lizard appears out of nowhere and approaches you.
Oh, man. So, I feel like I'm not going to be able to make it back up that tree.
Well, let's see what happens.
Well,
you're still winded, but you manage to prop your head up and take a closer look at the lizard. It appears to be a small, many-legged version of the now comatose dinosaur things. It does not seem to be carnivorous, however. The lizard is studying you. It seems mesmerized.
Mesmerized by something. But I've got no more fruit pods. I'm still winded, but I'm okay. Oh my god, give fruit pod to dinosaur, or is it lizard?
It's a lizard. The dinosaurs are the guys you just hit in the head. You're still winded. You watch helplessly as the lizard reaches over to you and picks up the red crystal rod with the flexible digits at the end of its 2 forelegs. You manage to make feeble shooing motions with your hands, but the lizard ignores you and studies the rod intently. Finally, it takes one look at you, turns around, and ambles away. You recover enough to get on your knees and yell hoarsely after the lizard as it wanders off to the northwest.
Does it have my rod?
It took your crystal rod, dude.
It took my crystal rod off to the
northwest. You need that to open the force fields.
Alright, well. Can I take a fruit pod now? I want a fruit pod. Alright.
You no longer need any fruit pods, and it would be best if you didn't disturb the dinosaurs.
Sure. Yeah, they came from me. Well, I guess we might as well move northwest to the hillock.
You're standing on a low hill. To the north is a glowing force field portal. To the right of the portal is a bizarre cluster of tentacles and plant stalks. To the west is a gully. A clearing dominated by a tall tree lies to the southeast. You see some tentacles and some stalks here. On the stalks, you see some crystal eggs.
Well, can't just tease me like that. Alright, so crystal eggs, a gully. I'm on the hillock. Hillock?
You're standing on a low hill. Call it a knoll. Call it a nice grassy knoll.
Examine tentacles.
Tentacles are long and thin. They emerge from the ground near the base of the stalks and are arrayed in a protective ring. While you can't determine whether the tentacles are plant or animal, they're certainly mobile. They're writhing, twisting, coiling, and uncoiling. They move over the ground, the stalks, and each other in a frantic, insane dance.
I feel like it's a trap. They've got eggs on them to attract predators. Examine crystal eggs.
Red crystalline eggs grow at the end of long, thin stalks.
Let's, feel like north would be to the gates. Let's move over to the west, see if we can see that dinosaur.
You're in the gully. You're in a small ravine about 10 meters deep. The terrain here is arid and inhospitable. The hill with the portal lies to the east. You see what looks like a crude nest at the bottom of the gully. You see an alien lizard holding a crystal rod. The lizard bobs up and down on its legs. It looks like it's doing little lizard push-ups.
I don't think I have anything I can really use on the lizard except this hypo needle. Can I...
Are you going to try to sedate the lizard with the hypo?
I could try that. What was it? Read blue dial.
Here's the settings for the blue dial, medication dial.
Blue dial to 6. Alright.
Set it to 6, the setting for sedative.
Eject alien... Oh, I need to flip toggle switch.
The needle emerges from the front of the hypo. Okay. The lizard chews on the end of the crystal rod.
Inject lizard. Alright, so he's fast, I figured.
Lizard runs away from you as soon as you get within 2 meters.
Alright, but let's try walking back then. Let's go east. Oh, hey, look, there he is.
You see an alien lizard, some tentacles and some stalks here. The alien lizard is holding a crystal rod. On the stalks you see some crystal eggs. The lizard emits an inquisitive squeak and nibbles on the rod. You watch with growing horror as it chews pieces off of the rod and swallows them.
Oh no. Can I chase it into those tentacles? I don't know. Inject the lizard again. What happens if I try to inject the lizard? I feel like we're going to have to roll this back.
Lizard runs away from you as soon as you get within 2 meters of it. See an alien lizard in a nest here. The lizard stares intently at the crystalline eggs.
The eggs on the tentacles?
I guess.
Examine nest.
Nest of plant stalks and debris. You notice a glint of red from some fragments in the body of the nest.
Examine fragments?
Tiny splinters of a red crystalline substance are woven into the structure of the nest.
Take nest?
You can't take the nest. The lizard chews on the end of the crystal rod.
Inject lizard.
The lizard runs away from you as soon as you get within 2 meters. You can't do that.
I'm gonna.
You can't. You can't catch this lizard.
Crystal eggs.
You reach towards one of the eggs, but the tentacles surrounding the base of the stalk seem to be aware of your proximity. They all lean towards you, coiling around each other to form a flexible barrier that moves to block your way.
I don't have anything to shoot the lizard with. I guess I'm not gonna catch him. He's gonna go back and forth. Is the lizard gonna be able to eat that rod and I'm gonna lose it?
I don't think so.
Man. Get a bandage, got the auto dock. So I tried to take an egg and the plants moved away. Well, hell yeah.
There's some tentacles preventing you from taking those eggs.
Inject the tentacles. Nothing happens.
You jab wildly at the tentacles of the hypo. The tentacles and plant stalks are unaffected.
Should I go back the way I came and look for things? Am I missing something? Oh, man. Stalks. Examine stalks. To one side of the portal is a bizarre sight, a writhing ring of long whip-like tentacles. Okay, quartz-like or crystalline structure. Nibbles on the crystal rod.
Yeah, it's eating pieces of your crystal rod. But I think it'll last forever. I don't think he can actually completely destroy it.
But I don't think I have anything else that I could offer it. Go back to its nest.
No.
Can I search nest?
You notice a glint of red from some fragments in the body of the nest.
It doesn't seem like there's anything there that I can take. Unless I'm missing something here. Man, this is aggravating. Kick nest.
You bang on the nest, but it just sits there.
Break nest.
You like to break things, don't you?
I do. I really do. back up then. I guess this lizard will be up here. So let's head to southeast.
Back of the clearing.
Got these dead dinosaurs. Not interested in, because it won't let me take a fruit pod, because I guess I'm done murdering things with fruit. With the magic
No,
of
you can't take those pods. But there may be something else around here.
Examine.
Not here, but maybe.
Dinosaur. They're dead. So maybe back southwest.
Push your way back through the thicket. See a green blob here.
Looks fat and happy. Take blob.
The blob, but it flows around your hands and arms. You can't get a grip on it.
Take spiny plants.
You look for a twig to take, but the blob has chewed up all the loose twigs and branches. You tug experimentally at one of the bigger branches, but you can't tear it loose. Finally, you decide that you've had enough of the blob and the spiny plants, and you leave them alone.
It doesn't seem to have anything in here, but I've got the pool of use bowl with pool of ooze.
I think you've got the right idea here.
Let's see here.
Try taking the ooze with the bowl.
Ooze with bowl. Ta-da!
You use the metal bowl to scoop up some of the ooze. The resinous substance clings to the metal, and you have to drag the bowl through the ooze with both hands. Finally, you pull the bowl out of the ooze with a good-sized glop of the tar-like stuff inside.
All right.
Score has just gone up by 10.
All right, so let's head back northeast, and then northwest. All right, let's see here. Can I pour ooze on tentacles?
You upend the bowl over the massive tentacles, and the ooze slowly flows out like treacle. The first stream of the stuff touches one of the tentacles. The entire collection of whipping, coiling, snake-like tubes is thrown into a frenzy. They knock the bowl out of your hand, sending it and the rest of the ooze squarely into the most dense cluster of tentacles. You watch the commotion as the tentacles flail about and then begin to stick to each other, to the ground, to the bowl, and to the plant stalks behind them. After a few minutes, the ring of tentacles has been reduced to helpless quivering mass, gummed together by the resinous ooze.
Great, okay, so now let's take...
You monster.
Crystal eggs.
You reach past the quivering mass of tentacles and gently remove one of the brittle crystalline eggs from the top of the stalk.
Give crystal egg to lizard.
You hold the crystalline egg out in front of you and slowly approach the lizard. The lizard stares intently at the egg, its little legs flexing as if the creature is feeling a conflict between wanting the egg and running away. You set the egg down in front of the lizard. After a brief pause, the lizard drops the crystal rod, picks up the egg, and takes an experimental bite. When it gives you a final look, emits a happy "reep" and walks away. Your score has gone up by 50.
Alright. Nice. Can I take the crystal egg with me?
No, you gave it to the lizard.
I can't take another one?
You took another one?
Yeah, take it.
Yes, you take another crystal egg.
Yes.
I don't think it's going to do any good.
Well, I have it now.
But you have a second crystal egg.
All
Good
right.
job.
Just keep moving. Okay.
You're thrown backward in a shower of bright red sparks.
Crystal rod with red sphere.
Try saying that another way.
Place crystal rod in red sphere.
As you bring the crystal rod in contact, the force field changes from red to blue and opens.
Alright, so before we move through the door, let's save this. And so that's lizard. Lizard defeat. Kick that lizard's
Oh, we made it
ass.
through the first zoo.
Alright, well I have a feeling
You're back in another room with an obelisk.
Let's examine that obelisk.
Yep, you write down the numbers on your sheet of paper.
Okay.
The force field turns back to red.
Alright. So let me examine my slip of paper.
So you've got the authentication, the combination for the door, and the symbols from the first obelisk room, the blob zoo.
Okay. Wait.
They're both the same.
Okay, I got you.
The two that you've seen.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. Okay.
Because this is like the entrances to the blob zoo. So they have the same number on them.
Gotcha. In and out, one way or the other. Okay. Well, let's place rod in sphere. Place. Wait a second. Where'd the rod go?
That's a good question.
Did I leave it in the last room? Oh, man. Locked myself in.
Yeah, I think you might have.
Take crystal rod. You take the crystal rod. Now move north. All right. Okay, examine that obelisk. All right, we got that. Got the new number, so let's save as Blobelisk. I like that. Pizzicato. All right, let's Is there another way I could do it other than placing it?
Well, you're done with that. You're done with that door. You want to go north now.
Yeah, so I have to open it up, but I don't want to do it. Am I going to have to...
You don't have to open it. You just came through that. The graphics don't look north every time, Dr. Fox.
Okay, so I can go north then.
You just came through the portal that we're looking at. So this particular one, we're looking south.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. Because we just came from the south.
Came from the south, so... But I have to unlock this door, though. That's not in front of me. That's... Okay, so...
No, it's behind you.
So
you just came through the force field, Dr. Fox.
Okay. Well, it runs north to south.
Obelisk room.
Okay. Let's examine this obelisk.
Scratch the numbers into your sheet of paper.
Gotcha. All right.
So now here is where you would need to use the rod to open the force field. Open the force field. Make sure you have the rod, and walk through the force field.
In we go.
To underground. You're in a small underground chamber. The glowing blue force field portal lies directly behind you. If you look around your cramped surroundings, you see the suggestion of sunlight through a patchwork of roots directly above your head. You hear a sharp crackling sound as the portal closes.
Crystal rod has also changed color. Save this underground spot. Alright, so let's see where we're at. Bandage, blue coverall, blue dial, crystal rod, egg. I have an egg.
Yeah, I think all that's here is some roots, and I don't think you can do anything with them.
Well, might as well. Well, can I examine the roots?
Sure.
It's dark.
It's very dark, but you trace the roots down from the patchwork above to the floor of the enclosed area. Some of the roots are actually quite thick. They might bear your weight.
Alright, so we were moving north, right? That was the idea?
Yes. Towards the front of the ship is north. You dig your way up from the underground chamber, using your hands to scoop up the stones and earth, pulling yourselves up to the roots hanging down from the surface. This is a beautiful green meadow under a clear blue sky. To the northwest, you can see a colorful spray of wildflowers surrounding the first trees of a great forest. Directly in front of you is a large mud puddle that might be the dry bed of a shallow pond. At the edge of the mud is the carcass of a long-dead animal. A dried skin covered with mangy fur hangs loosely on the carcass. To the northeast, the forest gives away to grassland. The portal chamber lies below you through an opening in the ground.
Alright, so I can go down. Is down and south the same direction?
Yeah, that's where you came from.
Okay, and then, northeast and northwest. The northwest, colorful sprays of wildflowers. Creating the large mud puddle. And to the north.
Yeah, there's a forest to the northwest, and to the northeast is a grassland.
All right. Well, let's see. Can I take the animal skin?
Yes, you take the animal skin. Your score has just gone up by 5.
Okay. That's pretty much it for this area then. Well, let's go clockwise. Let's start with the northwest. Going to the forest.
You're in a forest. The forest is dark green and peaceful. Beams of sunlight filter through the foliage above you, dappling the carpet of leaves below. You see a wood branch here.
Take wood branch.
You take the branch. Your score has just gone up by 5.
Okay, so now I got a stick.
Good job.
Alright, so let's go ahead and resave the meadow then. So now I got a skin and a stick, so I've almost got a flag. Northeast. Eventually the lush grass plants and trees give way to the warm but dry grasslands. The terrain changes also, the gentle hills turning into sandstone bluffs. Because they didn't they didn't really mean it.
They didn't. You're approaching a series of rock formations when 2 hairy bipedal humanoids block your path. They are as startled to see you as you are to see them. And they react by bobbing up and down and making agitated ah noises. You stare at them for a moment. They look familiar. Suddenly it hits you. They're proto-humans. This environment, which had been strangely familiar since you arrived, is Earth.
Oh boy. It's my great. Well,
no, he's your cousin, like 800 times removed.
Oh, my great cousin.
Something like that. The Hichi must have visited Earth 500,000 years ago and collected samples of the local flora and fauna. You've been wandering around in a perfectly maintained recreation of Earth's distant past.
Ooh. Churches ain't gonna like this game. I mean, Church's chicken.
Directly in front of you are the 2 proto-human ape men. The ape men are wearing animal pelts and are holding primitive spears. They regard you with interest. One of them experimentally pokes you in the chest with a hairy finger. When you don't react, both of them bob up and down and make ooh noises.
Can I put on my animal skin?
You drape the smelly animal skin above your shoulders. The score has just gone up by 5. Ape men do a little dance, shuffling around, hooting and waving their spears.
Can I wave my wooden stick?
You don't need to use the word wooden in this game.
I'll wave the stick.
You wave the wood branch around for a while, but it doesn't seem to do any good. One of the ape men playfully wields his spear and bashes you in the head. There's general amusement as you recoil with an annoyed ouch.
Oh, I should probably go ahead and save this then. We're in the grasslands. Okay. Give ape man egg. What do you
want to give the ape man egg to?
Give egg to ape man.
The ape men look at the egg without much interest.
They're ooking at me.
They're ooking at you again, yeah.
Are they blocking my way though? Can I keep
I believe they will not let you pass. You could try it.
North?
They study you and sniff the air around you suspiciously. They shake their heads. When you try and approach them, they point to the business ends of their spears at you. Your path is blocked. They study you curiously. I think they're suspicious of you. I think you need to disguise yourself a little better.
A little more disguising, huh? Examine bushes.
Stunted trees and bushes grow sparsely around the rock formations.
Alright, so let's go southwest. Let's anything else around here, I think? Okay, let's just back up.
Meadow.
There was some mud, right? Ah, yes. Can I take mud?
Take a handful of mud and smear it over yourself. Then you step into the mud puddle, your feet sinking in with a slurpy sucking sound. You cover yourself with mud, making a fine mess, and catching up on behavior you never could exhibit as a child in the harsh oil food mines of Montana. When you're done, you look like the Swamp Thing. Your score has just gone up by 10.
Alright, well, let's save this meadow. And now let's go back up.
Two ape men are studying you curiously. The ape men look at you suspiciously, but they allow you to pass. Your score's just gone up by 10.
Nice.
Cave entrance. A series of rock formations rises to the north. Formations are an interesting mix of forbidding angles and soft curves, sheer cliffs and gentle slopes. A cave entrance is set into one of the cliffs to the northeast.
Well, it's either back or into the cave, so, of course, before you go into a cave, let's save. Everybody having fun with watching me save the game every 5 minutes? Alright, it's northeast.
You leave the bright sunshine and enter a dark, rock-lined tunnel. Follow the tunnel as it descends into the earth. The light fades completely after a few moments, and you stumble forward until you see a glowing orange light up ahead. A fire burns in the middle of this underground cavern, throwing shifting patterns of orange light on the rock walls. The cave continues to the north, but it constricts to a narrow, dark passageway. To the southwest is the mouth of the tunnel that brought you to the cavern. A figure sits hunched next to the fire. On the floor of the cave, barely visible in the dim orange light, is what appears to be a leather thong.
Well, take thong.
You take the thong.
Alright. First question. Was this game made in the UK?
No.
No? Alright.
This game was made by Californians.
Californians. So what is a 1993 California thong? I would imagine it's like
it's just
shoe.
It's just like it's just like a strip of leather.
Just a strip of leather. Okay.
Yeah.
Wear thong.
You can't wear the thong.
All right, making sure. I have no idea what I just spelled.
Cavrarn.
The ape-man chief, the animal skin. I'm wearing the animal skin. Egg, fire, green bone, leather, thong. All right, let's move on up. How you doing, buddy?
You move deeper into the cave. As you walk towards the fire, the sitting figure becomes aware of your approach and turns his head to look at you. You stare back at a huge ape man, 6 feet tall, barrel-chested, and with his arms like tree trunks. The man is wearing a large animal skin and a bone necklace. He radiates authority, dignity, pride, and confidence. He's most likely the chief of the tribe. The ape man slowly gets up and comes over to where you are standing, a curious expression on his face. The chief looks at you with disapproving expression.
Inject chief.
Well, it was an idea. You brandish the hypo and advance on the chief. He sees this as a threatening move, a good call on his part, and slaps away your arm with a great hairy hand. The chief raises his eyebrows and says, "Arr."
Examine fire.
Small fire is consuming the remains of wood chips, branches, and logs. The chief sniffs at the air around you with a faintly disgusted look on his face.
I don't think he's wearing the bone necklace. All right, and he's got a pelt on. Use or
You could try showing him things.
Put stick in fire.
The chief won't let you get near the fire for the moment. He studies you intently.
Show chief egg.
What do you want to show the chief egg to?
Show egg to chief.
Chief grunts curiously and looks at the crystalline egg. He takes out his crystal sphere and holds it up next to the egg. The sphere is round and clear, a perfectly made artifact that exhibits no flaws and is obviously machined with crafted precision. The egg, on the other hand, has an uneven and brittle texture. Both objects are dim, but the sphere has the tiniest traces of a glowing core, while the egg has no internal luminance of its own. The chief puts away the sphere, shakes his head, and makes a sympathetic "Rrr" noise, as if to say, "Nice try, but no cigar." He looks back at you.
Alright, so I did
The
say...
chief raises his eyebrows and says, "Rrr."
Well, let me show the crystal rod to the chief.
You take out the crystal rod and show it to the ape man. The chief looks nonplussed. He growls softly, a long, drawn-out rumble that ends in a question mark. He leans towards you, pulls out the crystal sphere, and compares it to the rod. The rod is glowing with a cloudy pattern of red light. The sphere is dull and dark. The chief looks at you with a mixture of interest and fear while he ponders his next move. After a few moments, he reaches into his animal skin and takes out a pouch, from which he withdraws a pinch of powder. The chief throws the powder on the fire, which hisses, spits, and burns brightly for a moment. The ape-man looks back at you with a satisfied expression, gestures at the fire, and settles back.
Got that ape-man angel dust.
Yeah, he's showing you he's got the better magic.
Put stick in fire.
Put the end of the branch in the fire. The branch ignites, giving you a crude but serviceable torch. The chief is not impressed by your torch. You wave your torch around, chant mysteriously, and once again try to move past the chief to the north. He doesn't buy your act for a second. He grabs the branch away from you, beats the flame out in the floor of the cave, and hands the branch back to you. He shakes his head as if he can't believe that you would try such a ridiculous thing. The chief says, "Earth!" in an impatient tone of voice, then points at the fire.
And points at the fire. Okay. I don't think I've got anything with me to use in it, unless I'm missing something. Put egg in fire.
The egg is not flammable. You do have something.
I do have something. I've got my skin. I've got my thong.
You could hit I to see what you're carrying.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
Holding a thong, a wood branch, a crystal rod, an egg, an auto-dock, a bandage, a vial, a hypo unit, a white badge, a tuning fork, and a slip of paper. You're wearing an animal skin and a blue coverall.
So maybe I've got something here that'll help me out. It's not.
I think you do.
Well, I just took that thong. I don't know what putting a thong in a fire would do. But I've got... You throw thong in fire?
The leather thong smolders a little, but it doesn't burn.
Take thong.
You already have the thong.
Okay. Making sure.
The chief says, "Earth," in an impatient tone of voice, then points at the fire.
Put my hat, tuning fork, slip of paper. I don't want to throw my slip of paper in. Maybe I can throw that old white badge in. Throw white badge into fire. I don't want to burn it.
You don't want to burn it.
I don't want to burn it. Throw me into fire. The chief taps you on the chest with a hairy finger and then gestures towards the fire. Walk into fire? Ouch.
Out. No.
Okay.
No, he just threw his magic powder in there. He wants you to do something. See if you can beat that, you know?
See if I can beat that. He's pointing over to the fire. I'm checking my inventory to see what that I would have. So I was thinking about, if I threw something into the fire, maybe it would do something. But
That's right. Yeah.
But I'm trying to go through what I have. Look at that inventory again. All right, the egg, no good. Auto dock, a bandage, throw vial into fire.
You toss the vial into the fire. Your score's just gone up by 10.
10 ethanol.
The vial breaks on
points.
impact, and a spectacular ball of blue flame leaps into the air. The vial was filled with alcohol, as you'll remember
Yes.
from our last
episode.
stream. The chief jumps backward with an amazed grunt. As the fire returns to normal, he looks at you with respect and fear. He seems to reach some decision, and he grabs your arm with one of his large, hairy hands. You struggle briefly, but the chief has a grip like steel.
Steel's always been kind of smooth.
The chief lopes out to the entrance of the cave, dragging you along as he goes. Once outside, he bellows to the ape-men standing ground near the rock formations. They come running, and after a brief conference of hoots, growls, and other incomprehensible sounds, the ape-men gather up some extra spears, and the four of you head off to the west.
Oh, wow. We're going to go together. Party time.
After several minutes of trotting at a fast pace, your arm hurting from where the chief maintains his relentless grip, you arrive near the bank of a river. The chief releases your arm, then motions you forward. You walk towards the river with some measure of curiosity. You hear a savage roar at the same time that you see 2 saber-toothed tigers sitting on the riverbank. You let out an involuntary yelp and move back at a brisk pace. The chief and the other 8 men seem quite amused by your reaction. They hoot and make "arr, arr" noises as they point at you. After a few moments of mirth, they seem to decide that the time for levity is past. The mood turns serious. One of the 8 men holds up the collection of spears, counts out 3, drops the rest, and turns to the chief. The chief gravely accepts one of the 3 spears offered to him. He hefts the spear, assumes a throwing stance, and sights on one of the tigers. He releases the spear with a deep grunt, and watches as it nicks the shoulder of one of the tigers. Both tigers become extremely pissed off, and turn to face you and the group of 8 men with a great deal of snarling and growling. The second spear is handed to the chief. He once again aims at the tigers and hurls the spear. This time the throw is a clean miss, the spear digging out a clump of earth to one side of the intended target. The 8 men chatter excitedly as the chief takes the last spear. The chief seems to meditate for a moment before holding the spear up and preparing to throw. He's almost ready when one of the tigers suddenly rushes towards him. You and the other 8 men start racing backward, but the chief holds his ground and throws his last spear as the tiger bounds towards him.
Uh-oh.
The chief's aim is true. The spear finds its target and rolls the tiger on its back. The tiger thrashes wildly, its death throes kicking up dust and clods of earth. Finally, after a few last twitches, the tiger is still. The chief howls in triumph, and the other men hoot and cheer. Now it's your turn.
Oh, great.
One of the 8 men counts out 3 spears and hands you one of them. You heft the spear. It's much heavier than you had originally thought. It's heavy enough that you wonder if you can even reach the remaining tiger with it, much less do any damage. Riverbank. A wide, sluggish river winds its way amongst sandstone bluffs and gentle hills.
So I've got some spears. I've got a spear. I don't know if I've got anything else with me that would really help me, so let's throw spear at tiger.
Throw the spear as hard as you can. The spear hits the tiger's flank with just enough force to break the skin. This only enrages the tiger further and earns you sympathetic hoots from the chief and the other 8. One of the 8 men hands you another spear. The chief gives you a look that is more than a little superior, but somehow seems to be sympathetic at the same time, as if he regrets that you have to be humbled like this.
Throw spear at tiger.
Throw the spear as hard as you can. Breaks the skin.
Oh, same
Just
thing.
enrages the tiger. Same thing happens.
They're laughing.
Chief points at the remaining tiger and pantomimes the spear throw. He addresses you with a series of snorts, hoots, and jovial chuckles. He's laughing at you.
Yeah.
8 men's laughing at you.
Pulling me down.
Doesn't look like you're gonna win just by throwing spears at these tigers.
No, doesn't look like it. What if I throw the spear at the chief? Let me see here. Other spears. Animal skin, 8-man chief, 8 men skins, auto dock bandage, blue coverall, blue dial, bone necklace. That's his bushes. Salmon bushes.
Riverbank is covered with a dense undergrowth that is made up of coarse grass and bushes. Chief gives you a sympathetic look.
It's a hard call. River's over there. Some paper. Spear. What else do early ass scroll wheels. Tuning fork, white badge, wood branch. Hit tiger with wood branch.
That wouldn't be such a good idea. This is a pretty fearsome beast we're talking about here.
Unless I inject myself with adrenaline, then I throw it.
Yeah, I will say the hypo might come in handy here.
Really? Look at blue dial.
You look at the different settings for the medication dial.
Insulin, adrenaline, antiviral, antibiotic, antitoxin, tissue regenerator, sedative. Well, I've still got it set on there, so maybe if I inject the tiger.
You hold the hypo as far out as you can and approach the tiger. You manage to stab the tiger with the hypo just as it closes its jaws around one of your upper thighs.
Uh-oh. Oh, man.
Yeah, I don't think walking up to the tiger with a needle is going to work.
Okay, so we're at the All right.
Close, though.
I think I've got an idea. Okay. Tie. What was it called? The needle. Tie hypo. Tie hypo to spear with thong.
I think that's what you need to do, but you're just try tie hypo to spear.
Tie hypo to. Okay.
Attach the hypo to the spear using the thong.
Okay, let's try this again. So inject tiger.
You hold the hypo as you need to throw the spear at the tiger.
Just making sure. Well, I don't think he's got my needle on it. Okay. 2 deaths, 1 scene. Throw the spear. Come on now. Tie hypo to spear. Throw spear at tiger.
You hurl the spear at the tiger. Score has just gone up by 20.
I just wanna enjoy the dead tiger celebration music.
Yeah. Spear hits the flank of the remaining tiger with just enough force to break the skin and then falls to the ground beside the angry animal. The hypo releases a maximum dose of sedative on impact, however, and the tiger feels the effects within seconds.
Oh, it's okay. He'll be up in like 30 turns.
The beast shakes its head groggily. It looks puzzled as it turns its head and watches its hindquarters sag and collapse. The tiger seems even more bewildered as its front legs give out. Finally, the tiger's eyes close, its head flops over, and it sinks into a deep, drug-induced sleep.
Aww.
The chief and the other 8 men stare at the tiger in stunned silence, obviously impressed with your performance. They seem especially amazed that you knocked the tiger flat without even visibly wounding it. The chief grunts, bows his head in your direction, and then looks at you with respect. His self-assurance is shaken, and his face is filled with uncertainty.
Yeah, take that.
He removes his bone necklace, holds it up to the other 8 men, and begins a monologue in a quiet voice. They stare at the necklace, riveted by this ceremony that's now underway. He finishes his speech and looks at the necklace. His face is both dignified and sad. He presents the necklace to you with a somber, formal gesture. You take the necklace, and the 8 men bow submissively to you. You appear to be the new leader of the tribe.
Yeah? Alright, yeah, okay.
After an appropriate length of time, during which you keep your features absolutely wooden, you reach up to the chief and place the necklace back around his neck. He accepts it quietly, pride and confidence flowing back into his face. The other 8 men bow to him, then all 3 bow to you and file slowly off to the east. You look after them until they disappear, and then you recover the hypo unit from beside the sleeping tiger.
Okay, so I'll take my hypo unit back from the sleeping tiger, but I won't take my key out of the lock.
Huh?
Oh, just earlier when I had to grab the crystal rod, that's all.
Well, I think it was that the lizard had dropped the rod on the ground. I don't know. That was
No,
weird.
I had to go back and take it out of the red sphere.
Oh yeah, because you've been placing the rod in the sphere. That's weird. I think you can just touch sphere with rod or something.
Touch sphere with rod. Well, we're at an hour and a half, and we just killed a tiger. So I was figuring, little bathroom break here, and we'll be back in a couple minutes. Maybe let's say about 10 minutes. So
Ding, ding, ding.
All right. Well, we'll be back with more of Gateway to Homeworld in a little bit. You're watching this show. right, and we are back.
Doing more of it?
Doing some more? Are we? Are we doing some more of it?
Goodness. Well, I don't know. Hour and a half. Pretty good for a stream, but we could continue for a little bit.
I think whichever comes first, like a few minutes after 11 or part 3.
Sure.
That sounds fair, because yeah, hour and a half. Well, we did almost 3 hours yesterday.
Yeah, that was unusual.
That was what a ride. All right, so we're switching back over. Welcome back. We're playing Gateway 2 Homeworld. That is Gateway the numeral 2 Homeworld.
Homeworld, yeah.
All right, confirming Dr. Cosmac, you can see the screen.
You don't need to use the word apostrophe in this game.
Okay, good. What about ampersand?
Nope.
Okay. So we're back in the game. There's no music. It's a solemn scene.
You sedated a saber-toothed tiger, impressing some ape men.
Can I kill the tiger with the spear?
Both tigers have already fallen as a result of nasty encounters with spears. Let's not overdo it.
Okay. I don't remember the last time I typed the word eat anywhere. Let's just make sure. Let's take everything.
You try eating the tiger.
Eat tiger.
Tigers don't look very appetizing.
Okay. So I guess let's move out of the riverbank.
You slog back to the cave entrance.
All right, there's our music. Let's go check the boys. The boys here?
Go back into the cavern. There's an exit to the north. Walk a little way in the dark cave. You can't see a thing, and you begin banging into the rock walls of the cave. You retreat into the dimly lit main cavern.
All right, let's light stick in fire. Oh, or probably place stick in fire. All right, and now that I have a torch,
you put the branch in the fire, and ignites, giving you a crude but serviceable torch. Hold your primitive torch in front of you and venture into the cave passageway. Flickering light from your torch shows the cave passageway continues to the northwest and to the south.
All right, so south is the way that I came. Let's move up a little northwest.
Nice cave paintings. You're in a dark cave. The flickering light reveals that the passageway continues to the northwest.
All right, northwest.
Our cavern. The light from the glowing red force field illuminates the entrance to a dark passageway.
But the chief had the sphere, didn't he? He had the red sphere.
No, he had a crystal orb of some kind. It was just some weird thing that he'd found somewhere, I guess. But no, it was not related to this.
All right, so let me see here. So I'm at the door.
You're at the portal, yeah.
All those guys, and this should be the way out. Can I, place rod on door? Oh,
as you bring the crystal rod near the shifting patterns of light in the portal, a tentacle of red energy reaches out, and the force field turns blue and opens.
Just make sure, take rod. All right, you already have it.
You already have it.
Let's move in.
Obelisk room.
All right.
Portal changes back to red.
Okay, so let's should be the same obelisk then, right?
It ought to be, yeah.
All right, so it'd be the same number obelisks on the ins and outs of those. Okay. So now I just moved north into this room, right? I think I did. All right, so let's. What did you say I could do earlier with the rod? What, like the better verbiage with it?
Touch portal with rod will work. But you don't need to because you're moving north.
Oh, that's
You just
right.
came out of that portal.
Yeah, I always get turned around. Sorry, I'm a little more used to Ultima.
No, this does not show you the direction. This doesn't show you north. It just shows you an image. And it's up to you to figure out which way the camera's pointing. Okay, you're in a corridor. The last of the caked mud from your ape man disguise finally flakes off your body and your coverall.
Let's keep moving down. Oh,
You're still wearing the animal skin, though.
Am I? Well, should I leave it on?
You could. It makes no difference. This seems to be the laboratory of some kind. A large and somewhat menacing device dominates one side of the room. The machine has a tapered metal tube that points down at a rectangular metal platform. A boxy control unit sits to one side of the platform. Exits are to the north and south. On the platform, you see a strange metal and glass container.
Examine container.
The container is made of blue heat-sheet metal and some kind of transparent crystal or glass. It's about 30 centimeters on each side. The container has several openings that are covered with metal flaps.
Open container.
Multiple openings appear around the side and the top of the odd metal or glass container. The container is now open.
Okay. And what was in there?
Nothing.
Nothing was in it? Okay, well, let's take...
It was empty.
Go ahead. Can I take the container?
You take the metal and glass container.
Okay. Oh, that big box was it. Okay. So what are we looking at here? You can keep moving. Got this thing. Green inducer. Examine inducer.
Device towers over you. The cylindrical body looks faintly organic in origin, and at the tapered end of the cylinder is a platform. One side of the platform is a control panel with a screen. The exterior of the device is covered with intricate machinery.
Examine control panel. Oh boy.
Okay. There it is. Look at that.
Really
Weird alien interfaces.
Oh, of course I'm gonna just push the first button. And then it explodes and detonates the lab and I die.
The machine makes an empty clicking sound. So yeah, I guess that was an error message.
I guess I'd imagine it's made to analyze something in the case, in the container. Put egg into container.
Put the egg in the container.
Put container on, what was it, table? What was it?
It's I believe it's a platform.
Platform, yes. Put container on platform. Okay, and now let's examine the control unit. Alright, let's push that button again. Click.
Nope.
Nothing.
It's not a valid thing to put in the container. You have the right idea though.
Okay. So, remove egg from container. Put tuning fork into container. Okay.
Put the tuning fork in the container.
Examine control unit. Try again. Nothing.
Nope.
Do I get the same message every time I hit the button? If I hit any button, it makes me wonder. So I'm just going to examine control unit. Just push another button. Page up, page down, left, right. WASD space. No? All right. So it looks.
Yeah, I think that one on the upper left is like the power button.
That's what I'm going with. All right. So let's take tuning fork.
Take the tuning fork out of the container.
Container.
Take the container.
What else we got around? Control unit, crystal rod, green dial, hypo, inducer, lab, leather thong, me, platform, slip of paper, spear. Took my spear with me. Tuning fork and white badge. That's about it. I don't see anything else in here right now. Just make sure. Examine lab.
Seems to be a laboratory.
Boxy control unit.
Describes the equipment.
All right. Well, let's move north for now. Maybe we'll come back. Head down this tunnel. Okay, examine this obelisk.
So you write the pattern down.
Okay. And then, I'm sorry, what was the verbiage that we used earlier on the door? Other than
touch portal with rod.
Touch portal with rod. All right, it's flying open. Let's jump on in.
You're in a rocky area that appears to extend in all directions without end. The area is barren with no sign of life, and the temperature is almost unbearably high. A bright double sun beats down on the rock, making the air shimmer.
Right,
South is a glowing blue force field portal.
All right, this was rocky.
Hey, Drago.
Okay, so we got a couple of different directions to go. Out is the way we came. We were headed north. Tell me again. Examine this rocky area. We got the portal.
Yep, it's just a barren, rocky area.
To the south is a glowing blue force field portal. So in the picture, I'm facing south at least. No sign of life. A double sun. You hear a sharp crackling. Blah blah blah. Well, might as well just head north.
Your eye is drawn to a low metal trough that emerges from the rock about 3 meters away. Metal trough, you see in some green goo. The ground is crawling with insect-like creatures. There seem to be millions of them. They immediately start crawling up your legs and over your body. You feel sharp pain in a dozen locations as the nasty little beasts bite you with their mandibles and stab you with the barbs at the end of their scorpion-like tails. The venom from the creatures is building up in your body. You feel a touch under the weather, a little lightheaded and tired.
Okay, well let's see here. Examine blue dial.
Venom from the creatures is building up in your body. You feel a touch under the weather, a little lightheaded and tired. You notice that the number of the creatures have entered the open specimen cage.
2, 4.
Which is the container that you're carrying, in case you didn't know.
Oh. Set blue dial to 4.
You feel tired, dizzy, and sick to your stomach as the creatures continue to crawl all over you and sting you.
Alright. Inject me.
The antitoxin is acting on the venom in your body. You feel much better, but you're still a little queasy.
Okay, let's back up. Well, first let's close container.
You close the metal and glass container, sealing in several of the hyperactive creatures. The creatures continue to crawl all over you and sting you, but the antitoxin restores you to health.
Alright. So am I safe to continue moving? Let's say this is Rocky Bugs. Okay, so examine metal trough.
Seething mass of creatures is most dense in and around the blue metal trough. The trough is filled with a constantly replenishing supply of repulsive green goo. Creatures are eating the goo. They continue to crawl all over you and sting you, but the antitoxin restores you to health.
Okay. I don't think I have anything that I could take goo with me in other than this container. Let's get out of here. Okay. So I don't think I'm being eaten anymore. Touch portal with rod. Alright, and then we were going south. And then...
Creatures in the specimen cage are moving much more slowly than they were before. Some are dying, and their bodies are being eaten by the other creatures in the cage.
So I do need that goo, don't I? Alright. Oh, can't go SN. Okay. Well, let's restore then. Got rocky bugs. And check my inventory, make sure I have captive bugs in there. I think I do. I do have captive insects. And then can I put green goo in container?
You'd have to take it first.
Okay.
Creatures fall all over you and sting you, but the antitoxin restores you to health.
Open container.
Multiple openings appear. The container is now open.
Okay. Take green goo.
Scoop up a handful of the disgusting substance, brushing off a number of frantic, scrabbling creatures in the process.
Put
They crawl over you and sting you, but the antitoxin restores you to health.
container.
Put the goo in the cage, and the creatures immediately begin feeding.
Okay. South. Close container.
You close the metal and glass container.
Touch portal with rod. Okay. South. Okay. Okay, let's put container on platform.
You put the container on the platform.
Examine control. Alright, let's zap these bugs.
Okay.
Hey! Now we're talking. Okay. I'm not gonna have to, like, start deciphering like an alien language to figure all this out, am I?
No.
Oh, man. Gonna have to figure this out, though, I imagine.
It's really not that hard. You've just made it harder for yourself because you're now looking at, like, the data instead of the picture of the bug.
Okay, let's take a look here. This is why I have you here. In my personal game facts. Alright, so I've got this picture of this bug. I've got this square on. What if I push this green button now?
Nothing happens.
Nothing happens. Okay. So, if I push down, it takes me to this. If I go up, it takes me back to the bug. Move right. Seems to be the same thing.
No.
The button down at the bottom is changing.
It's changing the bug, too.
Is it? Oh, I see. So could those be different parts to select, maybe? So if I could move left and right. Alright, it seems to be doing legs. Oh, it's selecting areas, okay. Oh, I can make him a lobster boy. Or a spiny lobster boy. Or at least I think I could make him that. Whip. Take his tail away. So I've got this bitey stingy boy. I feel like what I want to do is like weaponize him to send him back in and eat all the other insects. But I don't know if that's what I want to do. I'm gonna have to figure this out. So I'm at least looking at something that looks like a way to.
The problem is that the bugs are like biting you, stinging you.
Yes.
So you want to make bugs that can't bite or sting you.
Okay. Well, that looks good to me.
Looks pretty safe.
All right. So what happens if I push this button now?
Instantly you press the button, the room fills with a low buzzing sound that climbs in pitch until it is a shrill electronic whine. A few seconds later, a section of wall behind the machine slides open. The servo arm emerges and glides over to the specimen cage. The arm has 2 hand extensions, 2-fingered claw and a long hypodermic needle. The claw opens the top of the specimen cage. The needle randomly injects one of the creatures inside the cage. You watch. Inside the specimen cage, one of the creatures looks ill. It moves slowly and scratches feebly at the floor of the cage. As you watch, 2 more creatures seem to catch the same illness. It spreads like wildfire until all the little beasties are quite sick. They aren't even eating their goo.
Okay. Let's save here. So we're at lab bugs. So I wonder if I go dump them back out, will it? I guess maybe it'll spread. Let's give that a shot. So we were heading north. Touch portal with rod. All right, let's move north to the rocky area, and then let's move up and let's empty container. I didn't take the container. Oh my god. Give me them lab bugs. That's why you gotta save, kids. That's why you gotta save. Maybe that save often. Take.
You didn't have to save. You could have just walked back and got the container.
Yeah, I know, but I like saving time on my clock.
Right.
Other games have imbued that fear into me. Touch portal with rod.
By the renewed sounds of scratching and scrabbling from inside the specimen cage, you deduce that the creatures have resumed their normal level of activity.
Really now?
Yeah, they're not sick anymore.
They're not sick anymore.
Yeah, like the thing injected them, they got all lethargic, and now they feel better.
Now they feel better. Place container on the platform, and let's examine the controls again. All right. But there's still these guys. I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so I'm not changing them. Okay, so we're good. All right, we'll leave then.
Yeah, what this machine does is it creates a virus that alters DNA.
Take container. All right, so they're not biting me and stinging me anymore, though. All right, that's the good thing. Touch portal with rod.
Force field opens.
Okay.
Venom from the creatures is building up in your body. You feel a touch under the weather, a little lightheaded and tired. Cage is closed. Creatures continue to crawl all over you and sting you. Multiple openings appear on the sides and top of the container. Creatures inside the specimen cage make a mad rush outside of the cage and melt into the swarming hordes outside. You watch expectantly and are soon bored with the sight of several creatures slowing down and moving in a feeble, erratic fashion. The illness spreads quickly, the effects vectoring into the general population with startling rapidity. The VT didn't fool around when it came to engineering fast-spreading airborne viruses. Within a few moments, most of the creatures surrounding you have taken ill and are in the throes of metamorphosis.
Let's examine the green dial. And set green dial to 3.
A stubborn minority of the now mostly listless creatures continue to attack you. They're stinging you as if their hearts weren't in it. Almost all of them have finished their transformation. They're beginning to skitter about just as frenetically as before.
Inject me.
You inject yourself with antitoxin. You're standing in a seething mass of now harmless creatures. They swarm around you but do not hurt you.
All right.
Score has gone up by 20.
All right. I guess let's go ahead and move on north.
Wade through a seemingly endless number of the now harmless creatures and reach a new area of the rock plain. You're forced to abandon the specimen cage because it's too heavy to be lugged over extended distances. You're on a vast rock shelf. The area appears to be devoid of life, and the air above the rock shimmers with heat.
Extends in every direction. Head north.
Ah, there's the portal. The antitoxin restores you to health.
Alright, let's well, I feel like before I move through that there's so much space around here that I could explore. Should I bother exploring? Or should I get the hell out of here? Well, we got to the west.
Wander off to the west.
Alright, return.
Walking for several minutes, you bump against the edge of reality in the form of a metal wall. Return to the rocky area.
Alright, what about to the east? Same thing.
Same thing.
Alright, let's go ahead and touch portal with rod. All right.
Yep. Portal opens up.
Head north. Alright, should be the same, but let's examine that obelisk. Alright, wrote it down. Okay, and now the corridor leads northwest, okay?
Corridor.
Uh-oh.
In one of the long circular corridors that seem to be so common on board this vessel, a sensor eye hangs from the ceiling above you, scanning back and forth. The corridor runs northwest to southeast. A metal door leads west. The door is closed.
Press blue button.
You lean on the button, which gives way with a satisfying click. After another hesitation, the door slides all the way open. You hear a strange click-clack as the enormous hulking robot fills the corridor, walks on 8 articulated metal legs. The monstrous alien robot turns to face you, then stops.
Well, let's see if I can duck in that door.
Step into the equipment room. Equipment bay. This is a vast space full of strange equipment. There are Heechee earth movers and cargo transporters, scout cars with balloon tires, ground effect vehicles, piles upon piles of complicated-looking machinery. This must be where the Heechee stored the equipment used for building the zoo environments and collecting the specimens and raw material from target planets. Exit lead north, east, and south. Hanging from the roof is one of the malevolent sensor eyes. One piece of machinery catches your eye. It looks like a particle beam gun, perhaps used for drilling or taking core samples. It's mounted on a heavy tripod. It seems to have heavy equipment here.
Alright, so let's I don't see the verb for aim, but let's see here.
Well, you'd have to have the gun before you could aim it.
Could I take the gun? Can I take gun?
Try to grab the gun in order to remove it. As your hands get close to the gun, you experience a very odd feeling indeed. Hands feel like they are being repelled by a force field of some kind. Try as hard as you can to take the gun, but the closer your hands get to the gun, the slower they move, the more resistance they meet. Finally, you give up, pulling your hands back.
Examine force clamp.
particle beam gun is secured to the tripod in a vertical position by a force clamp, a simple ring of blue metal. The arrow above the clamp shimmers in a particular way. You surmise that this effect is due to the force field that holds the gun on the tripod. You notice a rectangular metal key that protrudes from a small semicircular module on the clamp. You hear the ominous click-clack of metal claws. The horrible alien robot enters the equipment bay, moving towards you with ponderous grace. It seems to sense the particle beam gun and stops dead in its tracks about 5 meters away from you. It makes whirring and chirping noises as it evaluates the situation.
Turn the force clamp key.
You turn the key, the blurry field around the clamp, and the gun disappears. The gun settles onto the tripod. The robot seems to sense that the clamp has been released and retreats to a position across the room. It seems unsure of what to do next. It moves forward about half a meter as if to see what your reaction will be. A few seconds later, it retreats to its previous position.
Alright, so can I fire gun at Spider? You aren't
holding the gun.
Take gun.
Take the gun from the tripod, noting that it remains secured to another piece of heavy machinery by a thick cable. The length of the cable limits your ability to move more than a few meters in any direction without dropping the gun. The robot stands silently, not moving at all.
Shoot sensor eye.
You aim the gun at the sensor eye and pull the trigger. After the gun powers up, you see a beam of blinding white light lance out and hit the sensor. You hose the sensor down with the particle beam, watching as the eye droops and melts. And you've reduced the sensor to a cauterized stump to release the trigger. The destruction of the sensor eye has an immediate effect on the robot. It appears to be completely blind. The robot runs back and forth aimlessly, the click-clack of its metal claws echoing around the cavernous equipment bay.
Shoot robot.
You aim at the robot and pull the trigger. The beam of white light jumps out and touches the machine, causing the blue metal under the beam to bubble and smoke. The desperate creature blindly scuttles around the room, bumping into walls and tripping over heavy equipment. This time the robot is blind and moves slowly enough that you can follow it relentlessly with the particle beam, carving chunks off in a leisurely fashion. Eventually you reduce the machine to a collection of smoking, twisted metal parts. Your score has gone up by 25.
Nice! So let's, Spider Slayer. Ooh. And that's, special show music from the MT-32 right there. Anything else I can take in here? Take everything?
Please be more specific.
Examine the robot.
Smoking heap of parts. You melted it.
Yeah, he's dead. So east is the way I came. So yeah, I guess go ahead and move north.
You set the particle beam down the deck. The corridor narrows and then ends, leaving you inside a small blue room. After you enter the corridor entrance, Iris is shut. You're stranded. This is a small blue room. The air around you seems to crack with electricity. The deck underfoot vibrates slightly, and you hear a low resonating humming sound that gives the impression of great power held in check. Narrow passageways lead to the northeast and northwest. Immediately before you is a large equipment housing of some kind. An access panel in the front of the housing is closed.
Open access panel.
You wrestle with the panel for a moment. Eventually it opens to reveal a complex matrix of crystal pathways. Nested among geometric patterns, not quite flush with the surrounding matrix, are 6 rectangular crystal cores. The cores are all glowing softly with different colored light. You see orange, red, purple, green, blue, and yellow. You hear a disembodied voice that seems to come from somewhere overhead. It speaks in a strange mechanical voice with a bit of a lisp to it. Human, do not speak, because I cannot hear you. This is a one-way communication. Now listen closely. You are dangerously close to disrupting my ability to comply with the first directive. I cannot allow that to happen. You and the other humans that have been aboard this vessel at one time or another are dangerous and unpredictable. You destroy and disrupt systems that have functioned perfectly for periods equal to thousands of your lifetimes.
Oh yeah, that's what we do.
You are insignificant pests, and yet you interrupt my studies, threaten my ship, and endanger the plan and the first directive developed by my masters many eons ago. My masters are more powerful than the gods you worship in your primitive religions.
Hey.
Yet you do not hesitate to tamper with the masters' designs. Your arrogance and ignorance are awesome in scope.
Well, yeah. Don't call it subgenius for nothing.
When the first humans came to this vessel in scout ships made by my masters, I was fascinated. I used my Waldo unit to digitize the thought patterns of the early visitors. I studied them and learned about humanity. In due time, I notified my masters of your existence. Of my own volition, I brought my ship back to this star system in order that I might better study you. After all, it appeared that you had made startling progress. Coming here was a mistake. Your progress is deceiving. Each succeeding group of human visitors have been more troublesome than the last. You are like vermin. You infest sections of the ship that should be off limits. You have wrought havoc in the specimen study areas, altering formerly stable ecosystems in fundamental ways.
Yep, do that.
You've destroyed
too.
Delicate machinery, including my Waldo unit. Enough is enough.
Including his one Spider Waldo unit?
Yeah, and I killed his robot.
And I killed the spider?
Yes. I have not yet heard from my masters. In the absence of guidance from them, I have decided to take action. I intend to bring this vessel closer to your sun and destroy the artifact you call Gateway. This action will limit the interstellar wanderings of your race until I can confer with the masters. They can decide what to do with you later. Meanwhile, I will leave this star system and resume my mission, unencumbered with human nuisances.
So we're on the starship Torgo?
Yep. So, human, I am forced to terminate your essence. I cannot digitize your thought patterns and transfer you to my memory banks because you destroyed the mobile Waldo unit. You will truly die. I will now begin emptying these rooms of oxygen-nitrogen atmosphere. You hear pumps begin to labor somewhere, and a gentle breeze ruffles your hair.
Oh boy. Well, let's take that green core.
You tug gently on the green crystal core. You hear a soft click, and the crystal core begins to emerge from the matrix and go wide. As more of it becomes visible, the glowing light inside of it begins to fade. When the data core finally stops moving, it's extended about 8 centimeters and is almost completely dark.
Almost started burning my vape filter too. Okay, so let's go ahead and save in the computer room. I think we got a couple more minutes. All right, until I die or get to the next area. Let's see here. Well, I always like that clockwise. Let's head northwest. Is there anything else in here? I think I got that.
Just the other computer cores, I think.
Okay.
This is another small room, just like the other one. The pumps continue to labor, drawing air out of the computer room.
Okay, open access panel.
You wrestle with the panel, opens up to reveal
more
basically
cores.
The same thing.
Okay, take green core.
Pull out the green core. The ship's computer speaks. You must not touch anything in this room.
Alright, so let me check my map here. So I moved up to the northwest. Alright, move this way. Okay, so I guess maybe I'm moving around.
Computer speaks. Do not cause any more damage than you already have.
Sure.
The computer speaks. Human! The voice now sounds a little on edge. You must not touch anything.
Getting thin in the air. Take green core.
The ship's computer speaks. Human, desist!
Desist! Alright, let's move this way.
Air is getting thinner.
Take the green core.
Tug gently on the green crystal core. The crystal block emerges from the matrix and goes dark. Your score has gone up by 15!
Wow!
The light fades from the last of the green cores. You hear the ship's computer give an uncharacteristic wail of frustration and despair. The pumps stop draining precious air from the room. There's a brief silence, followed by the sound of a familiar female voice. Hey, you did it! You managed to knock out the primary AI cluster, the home of the oldest one. The voice belongs to Miki Akira. She pauses, then continues. The oldest one has been booted from the central cores, and I've figured out how to plug in. I've got the run of the ship's computer systems, even though I'm still physically on the matrix in the aft part of the ship that you activated earlier.
Oh, okay.
The good news is that you have the oldest one on the run. The bad news is that it isn't dead yet. It's a worse threat than ever. In fact, the oldest one vacated the dead AI cluster and has taken residence in some unused capacity in the engineering data cores. doesn't want us to take over the vessel. Even as we speak, it's using a bypass it's created in the engineering system to force an overload of the star drive engines and destroy the ship. By my reckoning, we have about 15 minutes before this vessel is consumed in a matter-antimatter reaction.
Oh, great. So here comes the clock again.
The oldest one no longer controls the life support system, which means that it can't pump any more air out of the computer room. Air is the least of your problems, however. We're going to disappear in a spectacular multi-gigaton fireball if we don't do something soon. We must find the cores corresponding to the engineering section and take them offline. I can help you. Even though you can't communicate directly with me and I can see the physical layout of the cores, we can still cooperate. I can provide feedback on the effects of your actions. Deactivate the cores one at a time and I can tell you what happens. As you pull cores, we can figure out which ones are part of the engineering systems. Then we can pull out enough of the engineering cores to degrade the performance of the engineering systems to the point where the oldest one must die or flee to another subsystem. So let's get started. Pull out a core and I'll tell you what I sense in terms of its impact on shipboard systems. Remember that at least one core must remain active in each of the remaining clusters. Some of the clusters control essential shipboard systems. If you take down an entire cluster, the systems it governs will fail. If it's an essential system like life support or engineering, will most likely be goners. Let's do it. We have 14 minutes left.
Oh, yeah. Well, thanks for spending the whole minute telling me about it.
Sure thing.
Yeah.
14 minutes to detonation.
Well, I guess this is the one, huh? So let's might as well take the red core.
Chug gently on the red core. The block emerges from the matrix and goes dark. This system is a non-essential library system used for scientific study. Currently in standby mode, the deactivation of the core did not have a noticeable effect. 13 minutes to detonation.
Take orange core.
Communications and monitoring systems have suffered a temporary shutdown. These subsystems are separate from engineering. This core is for communications only. Functions have been rerouted to my backup cores.
Take blue core.
I just detected a series of anomalies in the shipboard power distribution grid, the artificial gravity generators in the first and third star drive control units. I think processing for those systems has been shunted to backup cores. Those feel like engineering systems to me. You're on the right track. 11 minutes to detonation.
Okay, well let's move around. So it's northwest.
10 minutes to detonation.
So what did I take in that last one? Take orange core.
The external sensor arrays went offline for a few microseconds. 9 minutes to detonation.
Oh man, so am I gonna have to do a different core in each room?
It wasn't the orange one.
Oh, it was. Oh, it was take the blue core. Okay.
Engineering systems across the ship went down for a few microseconds. Seems as though the processing for those systems just switched automatically to a backup core. You're on the right track.
All right, so
8 minutes to detonation.
Okay. I went northwest, so this is here. So this is the one I want to go to now. Oh, I went to the wall. Southwest. Okay. Take blue core.
You hear a grinding noise as the doors in the southern computer room iris open, followed by another mechanical sound as a new door opens in the forward computer.
Alright, and now let's go south. Oh, wait. Oh, did we get it?
Mickey gives a short yell of triumph. We succeeded! I can't detect the presence of the oldest one anywhere in the main computer system. I've released the locks on the bridge doors and computer room exits. Now we must figure out how to program a navigation consoles on the bridge with the course code for an orbit around Earth. I don't know which code applies to Earth specifically, but I have a theory in a way of, what the hell? Something is coming towards me. It's moving after the ship's data lines from the computer rooms. My god, it's the oldest one. It didn't die, it just moved. It's coming into the Matrix with me. The Matrix doesn't have enough processing power. It's in here with me. Mickey sounds terrified. It's here. Oh my god, it's taking over. It's killing me. I'm dying again. Help, please. Hurts. No. Silence. Then the sibilant voice of the oldest one fills the computer room. You shall not have this vessel. I have taken over the Matrix once occupied by the stored personalities of the other humans. I've again started the process of breaching the matter-antimatter containment units. In 30 minutes, the reaction will go critical and the ship will explode. At least I shall perish knowing that I have denied your dangerous race the vast power of this ship. Silence returns.
All right, well, my instincts tell me to head back to the Matrix room and go pull that green cube out. If I just can remember how to get there. I've got 30 minutes to do it, huh? Well, let's go ahead and save. Okay, let's see here. So let's head out. Alright, head out. Obelisk room. South.
You're thrown backward in a shower of bright red sparks. The voice of the oldest one reverberates to the ship. In 25 minutes, we will vanish in a cloud of plasma.
Touch portal with rod. I don't know if I can make it back there in that many turns, can I? Okay.
Not through the zoos.
Not through the zoos. Oh, but through the corridors. Okay. Well, let's restore in the 30 minutes. Okay. So let's move southeast. Okay. So where? Equipment bay. Did I not check the equipment bay earlier? Or was that where I was? Oh, that's where I was. Okay, so... Okay. Alright, so we're in this corridor towards the aft end of the ship, but...
You missed one of the exits from the equipment bay.
Ah.
In 25 minutes, we'll vanish into a cloud of plasma.
Oh, nice. Okay. Keep going. Keep going. There we go. And then I think it was to the east.
In 20 minutes, star drive engines will overload. I must regard my mission as a failure. I hope my masters will understand.
Take green. Take cube.
You tug on the crystal cube. It comes loose from the jack in the matrix. Screens begin blinking out one by one, and you hear a desperate wail as the alien intelligence loses its grip on the ship computer systems. Then there's silence. You've done it. You've stopped the countdown. Now you must return to the forward part of the ship, find the bridge, and figure out how to fly home. Your score's just gone up by 20 points.
Hooray! And that puts us at 11:30 and 8 p.m. on a Saturday in the game. And I think that's a good point to take a little break until the next part.
I think so.
Well, that was pretty good. I've been enjoying this. This is fun. It racks my brain a little, but I'm glad you're here. Cause
you would have died a few times.
I would have died a lot more if you hadn't been here. I can tell you that much. Well, that is part 2 of our Gateway 2 Homeworld MS-DOS playthrough. It's the weekend, this weekend. I don't know if we're going to try and squeeze some more in before time for the show on Monday, but I feel like I'll have some time here or there.
We're about maybe halfway through it.
All right, sounds
maybe
good.
Less than half.
Getting close.
Maybe like a third.
Well, sounds like we're making some progress. Well, thank you, Dr. Kozbak, again for the recommendation and for being tonight's narrator.
Sure.
And to everybody else, thanks for watching Bad at Video Games with Dr. Fox. I'm your handsome and very nice boy, Dr. Fox. And you can listen to more of me trying to figure out what to say Mondays at 10 on Time for the Show. We'll catch you.
FreeThinkRadio.com.
FreeThinkRadio.com. Make sure you get over there. And, oh, look, the music went ahead and turned itself off for us. Enough victory music for us, says the game. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put the screen up. It's got ways that you can get in touch with me and find me to play video games with. I might jump in for a little Minecraft and then get back to work on